What's good, everybody? The ambassador here with Theme Park ERT, and we're switching it up a little bit today because we're all enthusiast orphans right now with all the parks being closed. So today is our very first Enthusiast Roundtable. Get it? ERT, Enthusiast Roundtable. We'd like to welcome some very special guests with us today. We've got Cliff, a.k.a. Insta-famous Revolution Writing Warrior Analog Thrills.
Hey.
And then right here we've got Maverick, a.k.a. Whiz Kid, Dude Bro, Overall Nice Guy, Mechanical Amusements.
Debatable.
And then we've got Chris, a.k.a. Coaster Idiot Thief, and my actual neighbor, Airtime Thrills.
What's up?
And then providing some off-camera color commentary, we've got Days Can Blaze in the background.
Find a way.
Now he's on camera. Anyway, hey, guys, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
This was just an idea that I just wanted to bring everybody together because the parks are closed. And we'll address that elephant in the room right now, over here.
It's so big.
The COVID-19 coronavirus. So, as we know, we've got Disneyland properties. Disney properties are all closed. We've got Six Flags properties, including Magic Mountain, and the ones in Texas that were open almost Magic Mountain every single day of the year.
Yeah, Mexico.
And then Mexico, all closed. Universal's following suit. SeaWorld will be closing very soon. What do we do? We're orphans. What do you guys think, Cliff? What do we do?
Spend as much time on No Limits 2 as you possibly can now, while you can. Now's the time. Now's the time to design that roller coaster you've always wanted to design.
Right. Create an awesome park on your own, and then have it closed down just to kind of test to see how introduce the virus, like a literal virus, into the program.
That'd be better than Planet Coaster. You actually have real guests to deal with, and the NPCs walking around.
Yeah. Or like the old school, Roller Coaster Tycoon. This ride looks too scary to me.
I think it's interesting that all the parks decided to go on the same exact schedule. They all shut down around the same time.
Yeah.
And they're all planning on opening at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm hoping they all open up in April.
Well,
But I don't think that's
it might be a
necessarily
government thing, and it also might be because they followed suit from what Disney did.
Right.
Because at first it seemed like Knott's, like Cedar Fair, Six Flags were on board to stay open. Because they sent out the whole email saying we're gonna put
clean
more
up the
hand
parks,
sanitizers, we're gonna clean the rides, we're gonna clean the park, make sure everything's safe. And then 2 days later they come out with we're closed till April. So and that happened right in the first thing was they announced that they were gonna stay open. The day later, Disneyland said that they were going to close, and the next day, Six Flags and Cedar Fair said they're going to close.
Yeah, I think they all followed suit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Disney kind of being
the first ones.
The top of the pyramid, and what Disney does, so we will follow. I mean, kind of off topic, but NBA closed as well, and then the very next day, the NHL said, okay, we'll close too. It's just
Well, it was funny because before Wednesday, it seemed like it was a secondary story.
Right.
It was like, this is happening, it's a big deal. But until the European travel ban and the NBA thing, and then Tom Hanks, they all happened within an hour of each other. And after that, it became not a secondary story; it became the only story.
Right. Yeah. PR departments in every single company out there were just kind of scrambling because nobody wanted to look tone deaf.
Right.
I hope, and what do you guys think? I hope that they say it's going to be 2 weeks or whatever. I hope that it actually happens a little bit faster. I think that this hysteria will die down a little bit mostly because Americans have very short attention spans. So some new thing will happen, and then,
Well, if it is a 2-week incubation period, and it seems like the whole country is shut down pretty much.
Yeah.
Everything's been canceled. Everyone's pretty much been advised to stay home. If everyone does kind of stay in their area and the new cases kind of die down, maybe within 2 weeks, by the beginning of April, maybe everything will be good enough to reopen. I don't think it'll be sooner, though. I don't.
Yeah, and I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be a mad rush of GP and enthusiasts going back when the park's open? Or do you think it's going to be slow?
I think it'll be the opposite,
You
actually.
think so? I think it's going to be crazy.
No, I think people are still going to be afraid to go back.
Yeah.
Well, maybe right at first, but I think once everything of the coronavirus is out of everybody's head, I think the parks are going to get really busy. But I definitely, like what you were saying, the parks are not going to open before these 2 weeks because they've already started scheduling. They have to do scheduling.
Sure.
A lot of parks 2 or 3 weeks in advance, so nobody's scheduled. They don't have people in. But the thing that worries me about parks opening possibly later than April, if not May or June, is the fact that Disney just laid off a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
So-
a lot of international workers from the Epcot that are their contracts are ending right now too.
Yeah,
And
they
it's like,
just terminated all their college student program, and that includes the internationals that live in the dorms at the Orlando park, and those employees are now terminated, and that's been happening all over. That happened with Hong Kong. They terminated those employees. Actually, I think all hourly employees at Hong Kong and Shanghai got terminated. So this is going to be a little bit until this gets fixed. It seems like, but I'm hoping.
May 1st.
Yeah, back in May.
But on the other side, though, Disney might be lower staff right now, but they probably still have enough staff to run the park. It's just probably a lot of the employees are going to have to work longer hours.
well, they may decide to stagger their openings
Yeah.
by importance, like Magic Kingdom obviously first because that's one
Yeah.
of the most
Yeah.
high demand ones, and then down the road they'll
Hong
maybe
Kong will be last.
yeah.
They're better off not opening that
Well,
one. at all.
DCA might not open for a while because, for one, DCA is under construction.
Yeah.
There's not much to do there right now. Second of all, it's just a lot. There's just everyone goes to the main park. Rise of Resistance is open. Everyone's going to go there.
Well, either way, we'll see. I mean, when they all open, it's going to be interesting to see with, like, the public and then us enthusiasts. I mean, obviously us enthusiasts will be there, but
Oh, yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how
I'll
it
be there
goes. It
day
would
one.
be great. If it's a slow stagger, Rise of the Resistance, baby. Heck yeah, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I think the longer it takes, the more likely the GP will be able to flood. I mean, if they do open everything back up on April 3rd,
Yeah.
then I think that it'll be slower.
Yeah.
But if they wait till May or June, and then it completely blows over,
Yeah.
then the GP will definitely.
It'll be
rush
like
the parks.
open doors.
What's scary
open
and
doors.
unpredictable about it though is that historically these major pandemics tend to kind of die down when there's hotter weather,
Yeah.
but then come back with a vengeance like somewhere around like the fall or winter time too.
Yeah.
So like
You think it's going to come back?
don't know.
We might
I
not.
hope
I'm
not.
not scientists. I have
Hopefully,
no
we
idea.
have a vaccine,
A
by
vaccine.
then.
Yeah, well, there's that
A lot
too.
of people
yeah.
get flu shots, and that kind of dampens down the flu epidemic every year. So maybe enough people will get this vaccine also, so it won't be such a big
Yeah.
deal.
Well, I mean, we're going to throw out the obligatory, everybody be smart, everybody wash your hands. Like, I didn't shake any of these guys' hands when
Yeah,
they
we
came
were
over.
John and I did the elbow thing.
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
There we go.
So, I mean, again, obligatory, let's be smart.
There's the part where I was looking for that. Yeah. Although what's in that?
This
There's
video
little-
is sponsored by
That does not look like
Urel.
Yeah, it does not.
This is not Purell, this is Urel.
Oh, okay.
No copyright strike, because my finger is covering a certain letter.
Are you,
All right.
Are you sure there's no COVID in that? Because it kind of like some weird chunks in there. I don't know what that's.
This
all
is the
about.
same stuff that they put combs in at, like, barbershops.
Yeah.
Oh.
The blue juice.
It's
Anyway.
like watery and chunky and blue at the same time.
As we get an airplane that goes overhead, dropping coronavirus on us as we speak, chemtrails. So we've addressed that. I think we'd move on. We've heard about it a whole bunch of times. We all want the parks to open again. We're all excited to get back, not only for content, but just this is what we do. This is our life. We love to be at the parks and ride the rides. So let's go on and let's just talk about the rides. What are we most excited to ride? What do you think, Chris? Like, what's coming up?
Coming up, I know they haven't announced an opening day, but Iron Gwazi, probably a top 10
Right.
coaster for me personally. I don't know about the whole world. I don't like ranking things for the whole world because
Right.
But personally, I think it's gonna be a top 10 coaster, and that doesn't happen all the time. Where
Yeah.
something opens, you're like, this is a top 10 ride.
Yeah.
So I want to get on it as soon as I possibly can. We'll see when they actually have it opening now.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have it scheduled or if they're going to push anything back at this point.
It was cool to see the testing because, it seems like from the time that they completed the track work to where they started testing, it was record turnaround time, which was awesome to see. And then I guess Fred Grubb was able to ride it, which was
Oh,
kinda
there's a
fun.
bunch of people that already wrote it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been great.
If you see
So-
the photos that people have zoomed in, they all have their phones out too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you're in construction, they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see
because
if
they can
care.
fix it. If it falls off,
Right.
and breaks right, they'll just fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about Iron Gwazi?
Oh man, it looks incredible, and I mean it's pretty remarkable. I mean how they were able to do all the programming before track work was even completed, and how
Smart.
quick they were able to get it up and going like that. Yeah, I mean as far as like the layout of it goes, it looks. I mean, not to offend anybody, but I mean I'm not super like.
No, I know what you're talking about.
It's pretty standard RMC stuff, but I mean, just looking at how fast it takes a lot of those elements,
Yeah.
it's like
They have that outer bank,
yeah,
which is, I mean, they got to put more outer banks. I mean, those elements are insane.
Yeah,
And they have that downward barrel
Death
roll.
roll.
Yeah.
That's the nickname
I
for
mean,
it. People have been calling it the death roll.
They kind of
That's
had
what
that on
alligators
Steel
do.
Hog at Indiana Beach,
Yeah,
but
that's
it seems like this is going to be like a bigger, faster version of that.
Yeah, well, imagine taking the like Twisted Timbers or Storm
Well, it
Chasers
seems like-
drop like
It
faster
almost
than
seems like
that.
reverse Steel Vengeance inversions, like first inversion.
Yeah, because
it goes down
Still
instead of
has one
up.
that goes up. It's very similar. Yeah.
But it's twistier too, so it looks interesting.
And I think if we're going down, maybe you'll get a little more of that negative G feeling, like you're going to be out of your seat and kind of dropping at the same time. So that looks like it might be a fun element.
I'm just stoked for how fast it takes that overbanked turn around before it goes into the wave turn, and how quickly it just punches into that. Like that's going to be some
The thing
serious.
is I don't know anything about that ride's layout.
Oh.
I don't pay attention to the rides that much. The only the ride that I'm really excited for, because it's crazy as it sounds, is Emperor at SeaWorld.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a
looks
big
good.
dive coaster person. I love me a good dive coaster. Like Yukon Striker, that's my stuff.
Yeah.
Even Valraven, as much as people hate that ride,
Me too.
I still love it.
I'm a Valraven fanboy.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. It's just a fun ride, and I like dive coasters. I just think they're just really cool rides.
Well, the cool thing about Emperor also is that it doesn't have that mid-course brake run, which I think will help it. It's kind of going to go through all those elements really quickly, and it has the smaller cars. So I don't know if that's going to because I haven't been on
it's
say,
going to throw
Griffin,
the
and I haven't
forces
done any
off
one
just
of
a
those,
little bit. It's going to be different. I haven't ridden a mini dive because we don't have one yet. That's going to be the first mini dive or 6-seater dive in the country. And they use different track gauge and different train sizes. There's going to be different weights. So physics of the ride might be a little bit different from the 8 to 10-seater version. I also want to address that people were freaking out of how fast that test run was.
Yeah.
Just to clarify for that,
they
didn't have the holding brake on.
Yeah.
And they're running nylon wheels.
Yeah.
So those are all testing phase.
And they had rocket boosters. You just couldn't see them because it was daylight and the flame was burning so hot you couldn't see. No, it's
it will
good.
run. I think it will run well, but I think people are going to be disappointed if they expect that to be the way it runs because it's not going to run like that.
Yeah, but I'm excited for SeaWorld San Diego, to get that coaster built really quickly. And they built it really quickly, and they also were able to test it really quickly. And so I'm happy. Hopefully that it works out well for them, and then hold us over till whatever the next rumored coaster going in to replace Wild Arctic. So
Another family
Another
coaster.
Giga coaster. It's a Giga coaster.
Of course, yeah, and right by the coast.
it goes underground.
Yeah, it has to go underground.
It goes underwater.
They have the airplanes fly through it.
There you go.
I think their height limit now is 150, isn't it?
And they're going to call it
I think
Manatee.
that's what they're going with. Yeah.
I know for the longest time they had a 50-foot height requirement. That's why Manta's so short.
I think the law actually says 30.
It's a certain parts of the coast. Or distance from the coast. It's like 30.
So like where Manta is, it's like 30.
It's like 30, and then going up further away
Well,
from
I think
the coast.
Manta's 38 feet, and it has a 50-foot drop. So I think it's somewhere in that range, though. It's crazy.
So they have to ask permission to get the 150 feet. Say, hey, can we double that? That'd be great.
But I think the thing they came to a conclusion with is they have to make the rides the same color as the sky.
They do,
they're
To
blue.
blend
All those
in.
are blue.
Yeah.
But if they make it super high, they're going to have to make it a different color blue. They may have to make it white so it looks like clouds. So, I don't know.
Or blue and then white.
That'd be awesome.
and then
Yeah, two-tone. That'd be
And then you have
amazing.
airplanes running into it.
It works great because when I'm taking pictures of those rides, the pictures suck because it's like the track just blends in with the sky. It's like, oh yeah, that's the point.
It's best
Did you ever
to
see that
do it at
original
sunset.
concept art of what the colors were supposed to be for Electric Eel?
Yeah,
How it was
purple
supposed
on
to,
the
purple on the
bottom,
bottom, and it was supposed to fade slowly up into the sky color.
Yeah.
Oh, it looked so cool, and they never did it.
No, it's
Probably a budget cut, but it looked cool because it faded. It wasn't like one support was this color and the next one was this one. It was a nice fade, kind of how Falcon's Fury is.
So
Looked
for those
really
of you
cool.
who aren't able to make it out to SeaWorld San Diego and you still want to get a good picture of one of their coasters, just go out and take a picture of the blue sky and put it on Instagram and just say it's Emperor. But I'll tell you another ride that I'm really excited for. Maybe get your thoughts on this. Is I don't hear very many people talking about it, at least in the community. Is Pantheon?
That was going to be the coaster I was going
That's
to.
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I think Pantheon
That's
looks.
what I'm
And there's
legit.
still a lot
excited
of
for.
mystery about Pantheon
Yeah.
too. They're throwing in elements on that ride that people are like, wow, like
Yeah.
that big overbank. It's like I don't think anyone thought that was going to be an overbank.
And that thing is insane, that overbank.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
what is it, like banked 60 or 70 degrees? It makes the one on Vengeance look puny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just excited that other coaster manufacturers, especially Intamin, that's kind of for a long time has kind of had this little sour taste in Parks mouths and stuff like that. That they're like, okay, we see you, RMC. We see what you're doing, and we're listening to you, Enthusiasts. Let's check this out.
Well, RMC really changed the industry. I think a lot of other manufacturers and roller coaster designers are now going for that kind of RMC style where it has the stalls and the
Yeah.
Wave turns.
overbanks
Things
and
you're not
wave
used
turns.
to.
Because Premier with West Coast Racers You notice there's a lot of RMC looking elements on it.
Yeah, they have the wave turn in the stall right off the bat.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's just the industry finally saying that bigger doesn't automatically mean better,
Right.
necessarily.
But let's go a little crazier.
Let's enhance the experience of what we can do with the body. I mean, some of the most revered, engineers like Werner Stengel, he was awarded, specifically for how to manipulate the physics to affect your body.
Right.
And a lot of people study that specific aspect of his career, and I think that's kind of fascinating because it speaks volumes for how many people, especially enthusiasts, kind of flock to those kinds of rides where you do get more airtime or more positives or more laterals. The different.
But now we're getting lateral airtime.
Yeah.
I mean, the high five on West Coast and literally every
It
overbank
surprised
on an
everybody.
RMC, you get airtime now.
Yeah. That,
Lightning
Shout
Rod
out
did
to
that to me.
Circle Hang Time.
Yeah, circle.
Lightning Rod definitely did that to me, where I was just like, okay, I saw the layout, and then I was getting airtime on things that didn't even think was
Oh,
possible.
that wave,
Yeah.
that first wave turns ejector all the way through it.
Yeah.
And it's very calculated.
I couldn't believe it.
It's funny riding a coaster now that may accidentally have airtime.
yeah.
I think of Shockwave right away at Six Flags Over
over
Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
this thing is 40.
It was just designed poorly, and it's great.
Oh, that's what you gotta love about Schwarzkopf's and arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They got
yeah.
that jank to them.
Well, that's all we were just talking, off camera about the one at Gilroy Gardens, the Timberline or
Yeah,
Timber-
the kitty, the
Timberline
family
Express or whatever
kitty
it is.
coaster.
Yeah.
It has some of the craziest ejector airtime backseat on that first drop. I came off that laughing. I was like, that's amazing. But shout out to Alan Schilke for really kind of being allowed to shine. And I also want to shout out to Fred Grubb, who probably gave him that freedom to just be like, go nuts. And also, shout out to Werner Stengel Engineering. Like you were saying, a lot of people don't give them their due.
Yeah.
They
Well,
really.
if you look at my video where I did
Yeah.
the most demonic elements,
Yeah.
it was all Stengel,
Yeah.
all Schilke.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another element
Right.
on there that wasn't from those guys.
Right. So, that's why I'm really excited for Pantheon as well. The trains look amazing. The layout looks amazing. So I'm really stoked for that. And then we also, going back to Premiere, we have Icebreaker, which is going to be interesting. Looking at that layout, I don't know.
It looks,
It's like a
it looks
family
intense, though.
Yeah.
coaster,
It-
but not.
Yeah.
But
Because
look at West Coast Racers. We were all surprised on that high
Yeah.
five element.
Oh, everybody was, because I think everyone thought the one on Twisted Colossus was going to be better,
Yeah.
because it's a similar element, and I think everyone was blown away to find out
Yeah.
the one on West Coast was a lot
Oh, yeah.
crazier.
Yeah.
And it looks like Icebreaker has that same, it's
Yeah,
not
for
the
top
full
hat.
high five where it,
Yeah.
duels together, but it has that
It's
same
got that element.
twist out of it.
Yeah. On that
And,
first top
and
hat
if you
thing,
look at
it's
the top hat's really sharp. It's like
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I said that was
What I
going to be
noticed
the
is
dark
it's
horse.
Dual stators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more powerful than.
I said if there was going to be one coaster that surprises us this year, it's going to be Icebreaker.
Icebreaker, yeah, I think
Because no
so.
one's talking about it. It's being so overshadowed by Iron Gwazi.
Yeah.
And also that
I'm
first
surprised
spike is
that's a 48
overbanked.
in type
Yeah.
requirement, because all
Yeah.
the other
Oh,
skyrockets
yeah.
are either 52 or
54.
54.
That's true.
Because the one in Discovery Kingdom is 52, but 54
Yeah.
if you're under 54, you have to have an adult. But it's
I think the reason is because the comfort colors have comfort colors.
but
So
the thing
it's
is,
gonna-
West Coast is 54 though.
That's true.
And that has comfort colors. Same with
No.
Electric Eel.
It's going to have comfort colors on the comfort colors.
Oh,
So that's why they've lowered it. They've lowered it.
double
Bad jokes for
comfort
the
color.
win. Yeah.
More reasons for enthusiasts to
colors
complain.
is what they're called. But no, I think you're right. And also like that spike when you go backwards and it's overbanked.
I don't think
that's
there's-
such a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think anybody's ever done a backward spike that's beyond vertical.
Yeah.
You've never gone up a beyond vertical drop backwards.
I guess the closest thing would be full throttle.
The only thing,
Yeah.
the only thing I can think of is those weird PAX coasters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the scorpion tail.
But,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that
yeah,
isn't that
yeah.
90 or is that beyond vertical?
I think one of them is beyond vertical, if I'm not mistaken.
I haven't done enough research on those, so
They're not very
not
common.
many of those out there.
Yeah.
They look cool. I want to ride
Yeah.
one.
Well, then, and then you've got this one that's also going to be coming to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. It's the crazy Giga launch
The Drakenspire.
thing or whatever.
Well,
it
the thing
is.
is we don't know if that's actually the case. It's been
Yeah.
leaked, but the park has not said anything official yet.
Yeah.
But BGW fans, they get it right. Like
They
all the
do.
time.
They
So-
do, but I always very skeptical until the park does their full.
The ride honestly looks
announcement.
kind of stupid. Honest, to be honest,
Yeah.
it's basically a big impulse coaster. Like,
A big wicked twister.
yeah, just you're
Yeah.
sitting on the track and it's like,
So if we're
Price
assuming
is
that's what it is, I think it's a cool concept. I think it's basically Turbo Track version
If-
2.
What if they made the trains spinning trains?
spinning trains on a. I'm always down for a spinning train.
Yeah.
I'm the
That would be
opposite. I'm
interesting.
like, keep the spinners to the low height coasters. I wish Time Traveler was actually forward facing.
Does Intamin
Actually-
have a spinning
Oh yes, they
coaster?
do.
Which one?
Tornado.
Wait, is that the one with the chain
That's the one that
lift?
tries to kill you.
With the chain lift that's actually launched?
Yeah,
or
it has
something
a
like
double
that?
chain lift
Yeah,
that launches you,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
whole it has the old Intamin harnesses like
Yeah.
Look at
this.
the stats on that thing. You're just like, oh, okay. But then,
But, like,
it's
the thing
totally
spins like
not-
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Oh, there's some. I've ridden some good spinners. You can't get any good spinners in the U.S.
Time
Gotta
Traveler.
go. Well, no, I mean if you want to like spin till you hurl,
Oh, okay.
We're talking about
Yeah.
Spider at Lagoon. Come on.
Yeah.
spin
but-
till you puke. Go to
Or-
Six Flags Mexico and ride Joker, the old one that used to be.
Yeah. Discovery Kingdom.
Everyone said it when I never rode at Discovery Kingdom, but the people that said that they rode it there said it didn't spin that well. I don't know what Mexico does, but
Well, just
Nobody
I mean,
knows what Mexico
I
is.
rode the.
We love you, Mexico.
I rode the Pandemonium one in Fort Texas without anyone sitting across from me, and that thing was spinning so fast that I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I think the craziest spinner I've been on. Unfortunate what happened at La Feria in Mexico. That unfortunate accident, but they had some good rides there. Their spinning mouse. Yeah, that thing tries to kill you.
Yeah.
When you come back, all the ride operators have to ask you if you're okay
Yeah.
because it literally all you see is a blur in your face. And I mean, I rode it with Tim Baldwin. He's the guy from Ace. You may have heard of him. So he
Humble
doesn't
brag.
he doesn't like
Name dropping.
he doesn't like he told me he didn't really like spinning coasters too much, but he wanted to get the credit, so he wanted to balance out the ride. So I rode with him, and we balanced it out. And even a balanced ride was
Yeah.
this the entire time. It was like a washing machine.
I've heard that Raging Cajun that used to be at
Is it
I
the one
got-
that's at America
I got
right
the
now?
craziest ride on Raging Cajun.
Yeah.
It spun so fast.
Yeah.
And it was that was a balanced car too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't. That was insane. I got one ride on that, and it
Yeah.
was great.
And imagine if that's going to be the one that comes to Discovery Kingdom. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
we'll see.
Apparently,
yeah.
it's a new version though. I thought it was going to be coming from America, honestly,
Yeah.
but apparently it's going to be a new
It's a
one.
brand new one. Yeah.
And I'm wondering if because Zamperla built a new version of the spinner in I think Dubai. It was a Tom and Jerry one. I can't remember the name of the ride, but it has new lap bars, so it doesn't have that weird it doesn't have the weird either this one or the weird overhead ones.
Yeah.
But they look more comfortable, and it looks like they actually have a real locking mechanism on it, so they don't have to have a ride operator come in and pull it. So I'm hoping they get those trains.
When is that scheduled to come to Discovery Kingdom?
I mean, they say spring, but
Yeah. Last time I saw an update, I don't think they had anything vertical. Like it looked like it
it's
was
just
a
land
dirt-
clearing so
a
far.
dirt part.
Yeah, I was there in December, and there was just land clearing.
The last thing I saw was probably a couple weeks ago, and it looked like they had just a big dirt pile there.
but it should be pretty easy because it looks like it's going to be just like it's not an in-ground model. It seems like it is going to be a fairground model.
Yeah.
Which are easy to put up. I mean, technically, you can put those up in like a day or two and have it open because
Yeah.
that's what fairs do.
They're also going to open that whole like snake exhibit in there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited for. I'm glad that Discovery Kingdom's kind of more focusing on the animals because for a while they were trying to get that DC area done, and the DC area is actually pretty
Where
nice.
They
I just
cram
wish,
every single new ride in that
Yeah.
little tiny strip of land.
and I think they're
Yeah.
finally done with.
No,
with
there's still some
these-
walkway.
Still a few. Yeah.
Wait, can we build on top of rides?
I mean,
It's such a
they did at
strange
Magic
layout.
Mountain. They did with Lex Luthor, who says they won't build a drop tower on the side of V2.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a Discovery Kingdom, I'll tell you, man. You're saying it's such a weird layout. It's like, I used to think the walk from the parking lot at Six Flags Magic Mountain to the entrance was bad.
Yeah.
No.
But at least
Discovery
the
Kingdom's
walk
terrible.
to Discovery Kingdom, it's beautiful because
Well,
you're on
it's
that
beautiful,
lake.
but when
Yeah.
you're
You get to
leaving at
go
the end
through-
of the day and you've got that little narrow
Yeah.
pathway, it's,
Well, and you usually got a stroller with you.
yes, and I do have a wagon with me.
It's weird going though because like I typically go just for the coasters, but like having to sort of choose what direction you want to go in, and
Right.
like there's no real like connecting point. You
Yes.
either end up at
It's
the dead
kinda
end, one
weird.
dead end, or another dead end where Medusa is, and like I've always kind of thought that back area where like the rapids rides and where a lot of the animals.
Well, the reason they separate it though is because they don't want to disturb the animals too
Right,
much,
yeah.
which you have to appreciate because they actually have a very good animal
Yeah.
care unit there.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of the people that work there, and they'll actually walk the lions and the tigers out in the morning, like on a leash, and walk
Yeah.
them around the park. I know a few ride operators have told me they've seen it and flipped out because there's a tiger out of its cage walking around the park.
Yeah.
But that's what they do in the morning, and they have really good care for the big animals, like the big cats.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I think it's nice that they're trying to generate traffic to that part of the park because I've always kind of considered that area kind of like a lot of untapped potential. It sort of seems empty or
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're not abandoning the animal stuff.
Right,
That's what I'm happy about.
I think they should
That's what
expand as
really
much
makes
as
that
they
park
can.
shine.
Yeah.
Is they're not a thrill park, and I think that's what a lot of enthusiasts hate about the park. Is they go there and they do the coasters, and then they kind of just.
Well, do they own
Don't do
they own
everything
that lake?
else.
Because they could build a roller coaster over the lake. Why not?
I don't-
Giga confirmed.
I don't know how much of the lake they do own, but they do have a theater in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So
have-
I'm not
that's
sure
the-
how much
I
they
think it
own
was
it.
looked like super abandoned when I was there.
Because I know for a long
It's in
time
use sometimes.
they considered a flyer. I know that was
That
one
was-
of the
that was-
things
I
that they were
heard that
considering
too,
for a
yeah.
while.
That eventually became.
I just
possible.
wish instead of that a 4D free spin, they had the perfect spot for the first Intamin mega light in the U.S. and I was really hoping they got that, because those are really fun rides. We don't have one in the U.S. and
There has
I wish
also
we
been
did.
one built in
10 years.
10 years.
No,
at
there
least.
was.
Mega
There was-
Light?
Yeah, in China they built a clone of it recently.
Oh, okay.
I think 16 or 17.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was recent.
Oh, the China coasters. That would be so fun to go and ride. I mean, I like that. Speaking of Pantheon, that dueling dragons one.
Oh, that
Intamin-
one looks
Yeah.
insane.
It looks absolutely
Oh my
They
insane.
stole my concept.
They have the,
They stole it
I
from-
had that
the
idea
loop
for
with the
years.
inverted loop on top
at the
of
same
sit
time.
down loop.
Oh,
I had heard it's not doing much anymore, though, unfortunately, which is a real bummer.
is that just based on operations or?
It's probably based on
Programming?
crowds, because my guess would be is if they're running both sides, I don't see why they wouldn't dispatch them at the same time.
Yeah.
But
Right,
I think it's just probably because crowds, because like Superman at Magic Mountain, they never really like on a dead day they'll never run both sides.
Oh, no.
Right now they're not
on a
running
dead
both
day.
sides
Yeah.
because they're running out of parts for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for long. They'll get those
Not for
parts.
long. We did get that. We did get that behind the scenes information. You can check out my latest video or my last video to find out what we found.
I was in that video.
We'll
Actually,
see
the
how long
reason
those
I
parts
even got
last,
into
though.
that tour. So.
That's right. Big props to you. No, speaking internationally, so this doesn't just become a Six Flags Discovery Kingdom vlog.
Yeah.
What about the new ride models over in Europe, like the new Vekomas coming to
Abyssus
Energy
is a
Land?
huge.
Yeah,
I
Abyssus
think
mean,
it's a
if-
matter
if
of time
everything-
before we see them in the U.S. Though.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
they'll
know.
be coming here
I
eventually.
think it has to do with reputation
Yeah.
and the fact that Sansei owns Vekoma and S&S.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of S&S coasters in the U.S.
Yeah.
Vekoma, really just Disney, and the suspended coasters like Dragonflyer.
Well, if you
Yeah.
look at Sensei, they're mostly because they own S&S too, so they're
Yeah.
they're a joint company right now. So their focus is Vekoma is Europe,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
S&S is Asia and the U.S.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Vekoma
Yeah.
does work in the U.S. once in a while, but they have that special deal with Disney they've had
Yeah.
for like the last
Yeah.
15 years.
Well, because they're the descendant of Arrow, pretty much, and
then
Arrow started with them, so I think they
Right.
that's why they continue with
I think
Vekoma.
I think they're just trying to figure how to distribute their money a little bit smarter because I think trying to build a Vekoma over in the United States would mean shipping parts and whatever overseas, which could potentially
That's true. Yeah,
raise
S&S
the-
But we do have a lot of rides like that because there's not many track.
Yeah.
There's not many
The West Coast racers.
plants. Yeah, that came from
They're-
Italy. Same with
they're an American
Hang
company.
Time.
Not just Italy,
yeah.
Italy, China, and Lancaster, California.
Yeah, Lancaster.
Yeah.
Well, that's for
its
the
own country
supports.
its own.
Lancaster's for the supports, though.
It's,
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah.
steel.
Valley. I think it was Valley
Yeah, it
Iron.
came
Valley Iron.
Regardless,
yeah,
it came from all over.
They built the one piece of Goliath track.
Oh, that's right. They put the one piece of glass. But yeah, no. But Abyssus does look awesome. I'm very curious to see how that goes.
It seems to me that those kind of models, the Shockwave model, the Top Gun, and all the other ones that they have, like the Shockwave, they're kind of similar to what S&S can provide also with like Max Force. So I'm thinking that if anyone wants that kind of model, they might try to get S&S to design it for them.
Right. Which I mean, you have Steel Curtain already, which is, I mean,
Yeah.
if there's
It's
any
a bigger Max Force, pretty much, without the launch.
right? And I think if there's anything that could slightly be a relative to those Vekoma models, it would probably be Steel Curtain. Even though I think the Vekoma models seem to be designed a little bit more, how do you say? I guess
They're smaller.
Yeah, smaller and
They're more
They're more like blitzes
Yeah.
versus like a mock launch
Yeah.
coaster.
Yeah.
Like that's the difference. Is the mocks are usually a little bit
Graceful.
tamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more graceful, not as forceful. Intamin just goes
Like
all
Copperhead
out.
Strike.
yeah.
I think I rode Copperhead Strike at a bad time when it was running really slow.
I mean,
But
did you ride it when it
man.
first opened?
Yeah, it was maybe 2
Yeah.
weeks after first open, and it was a rainy morning also. And it was just, for me, it was like, this is like a full
I'll
family
tell you, it
coaster
takes
with
about
5
a good.
inversions.
Well-
It takes a good month or two before the rides really start to.
What I
kick
think
in
is
for the
funny
season.
about Copperhead Strike, I know we're kind of going in our Wayback Machine, but when it was first testing all this stuff and went so slow through that first loop, I don't think it was supposed to go that slow through that first loop, and they just said PR move. Hey, look at that, a cool hang time. We designed it to go really slow, so you have lots of hang time. I think that is probably not how it was designed. Call me out, Mock.
Mock Rides I've never ridden a Mock Rides coaster that had a strong launch, so
Yeah.
that's probably the same way.
I mean, I'm sure it's a good fun ride. The
Monza has
JoJo
a
rolls
decent
cool.
kick, like
Monza
for
has
what
a
it
nice
is.
kick.
But it's
a
not like
fast
it's not like
acceleration.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Like the
Premier is
Gerstlauer LSMs.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, yeah.
you rode
I
Shellraiser,
rode
right?
Shellraiser. That launch is crazy.
Because I rode
It's a rolling launch.
Takabisha. Yeah.
It's a rolling launch, so it's a little different than like an accelerator launch where you're going from 0 to whatever.
Right.
But it's
But it's like it's actually similar acceleration though, and that's the crazy thing.
You're
It's on
rolling into
LSMs.
it, but then it just fires you out. It's crazy.
I've only seen the footage of the Flugdang Nukgrad in
What
the
was that?
tunnel.
Go ahead.
That one just
Flug-
goes out of the way.
Nukgrad or whatever it's called.
Flucht von Dochkara.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, call me out, Mock. Ich kann perfektes Deutsch, Mock.
But they set up the camera inside the tunnel. And I think just shoots
Yeah,
like a bullet.
yeah.
Yeah.
That ride looks like legit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like, as far as like, I wonder how it's like really affecting with the whole. I hate to go back to coronavirus, but like the European travel ban. I wonder if that's really hurt the parks over there. What do you guys think?
I think it's hurt parks all over the world. 'Cause
Yeah.
Not Australia, they're open. But come on down.
Well, the thing is
We're
that,
burning.
as of right now, not a lot of parks are really open, or if they are open, they're not really in season.
Oh, that's true. That's
So
a
if they
point.
can really like clear this up in the next month, even, it's
I
not
think
really
we'll
going
be
to
all
affect them
fine.
that much.
Yeah.
You know, like not a lot of people visit parks unless spring break, obviously. But before the summer, before Memorial Day, I can't imagine a lot of parks do like a lot of good business.
Well, I do think the
before.
parks that are usually open for spring break are going to see a loss in attendance, obviously, for annual, and also a loss of income because spring break's usually a big time for those parks that are open. Like Carowinds was about to open. They open right for spring break, and California's Great America same way. Those parks are probably going to lose quite a bit of money, but they should be able to be fine if it's just a few weeks. I mean, they shouldn't be.
Well, it's good that Australia's not closing. Because this is their summer right now.
Right.
This is the equivalent of their September. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they're still. The thing is, people forget they're still having fires down there.
Yeah.
And so this whole, like I said, we have short attention spans. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, coronavirus, and it's like Australia's like, hi, mate, we still got some problems down here. Sorry, that was a horrible.
Steve Irwin.
I sounded more like South African.
that was
so I
actually pretty
apologize.
good from where I'm sitting.
As an American who knows nothing about things, it sounded great.
Why do you take a shot at me? I'm saying I'm complimenting you.
It's all good. But let's talk about also
Can't fist bump them.
I don't even know what this is. Is this
obligatory Purell
Oh,
break.
Urel. It's Urel.
Urel.
Yeah.
Where did this
You're
URL come from? I want to know.
This Urel came from Allmart.
Did you try tasting it yet? Let's see.
Try tasting it. Take a hit of that.
Yeah.
Go for it.
But let's talk about Disneyland and the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. What do you guys think about the technology that went into this ride?
I know nothing about it. So.
I freaked out when I saw it. Okay, so
Yeah.
I
Do you want
I
any
hit
spoilers? Do you want spoilers?
Oh, I was.
I'm not gonna spoil it too much,
Disney
but I'm
Universal,
gonna
I
talk a
don't
little
care,
bit
so go
about it
ahead.
because I didn't. So I don't follow news anymore. Like I don't follow coaster news. I don't follow theme park news. But I'm a big Disney fan. Like I tried to hide it for a long time because I was like, I like coasters more. But now I'm kind of like back into the Disney stuff. But when I thought Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was just a reskin of Great Movie Ride.
Yeah.
And when they put out that promotional video, and I'm like, oh, this is a cool little train, it goes through, and then all of a sudden the cars separate and it's a trackless.
Yeah.
I literally
cool.
got goosebumps, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And the way it's done, the art style,
That's what I was gonna
it's
say.
a lot of projection mapping, but it's done very, very well. Because I've seen a few projection mappings that are just like, it's a screen, but it doesn't look like a screen on this.
Yeah.
It looks very... It feels like you're actually in the cartoon from what it looks like.
Exactly. I was going to say I really enjoy the art direction that they went with. The animation style. It's very unique, and it's done in such a way that you can't really tell what's projector mapping and what's not. Have you seen the POV of it?
I haven't seen anything of it. I've only heard about it from you in a group chat.
Oh no,
And I
I'm
was-
telling you, it looks
and what's
really
great-
cool. And there's like moments. It's like they took the Ratatouille ride and kind of like condensed it a little bit.
But use less screens and more of
projection map. On
projection
3D
mapping.
on 3D objects. It's really cool.
But what's nice about it is they just opened Rise, so you kind of have this contrast of like a ultra realistic ride versus this ultra cartoony ride, and I think they're both great in their own.
It seems like a lot of the
their own-
technology is crossing over between the two.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're using pretty much the same vehicles. I think Rise is a little more technical because it has vertical, a vertical aspect to it because it's got the elevator and the I don't want to expose it for those who haven't rode it.
The turntable.
Turntable.
Yeah.
So
And the
we're
300
gonna
foot
call it
drop.
okay.
There's a turntable.
What park is this in? This mini
It's at Magic Kingdom right now, and it's going to be coming to Disneyland as well.
It's gonna go in
Okay.
the Toontown area,
Like
kind of in
behind
between,
Toontown.
like Roger Rabbit and
Okay.
Go Coaster.
Yeah, my,
Which
my,
is-
that back
so-
corner.
my Disney knowledge is like none.
You don't,
So-
you don't have a pass there?
Nope.
Maverick,
Okay.
what about the Spider-Man ride?
I don't know much
Do you
about
what
it.
kind of vehicle system that is?
I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a Disney exclusive kind of vehicle.
You don't
Like
think it's going to go trackless? 'Cause
No, I
have
don't
a
think it-
feeling it might. Because you're bringing Mickey and Minnie's, but that's when 2021.
No,
or
from
22?
everything I've seen, I don't think Spider-Man is a trackless.
Hmm.
I know it's going to be very similar concept to how the Legoland ride is, the
Ninjago.
Ninjago, which was really cool. I don't know if any of you've ridden that.
I
That
did.
was worth the trip to
My arm
Legoland.
got tired.
I think it's so cool though. It's cool for little kids. I get tired.
No,
but-
I'm like,
yeah.
Basically,
okay, I'm done.
Basically, what it is that it's kind of like a Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters or the Toy Story.
Yeah, Midway.
But with
Midway
no
Man.
controller or gun.
But there's nothing that you physically own. They have like this little system that
Senses your movement.
You just do this
Oh.
like you're throwing Chinese ninja stars or something.
Oh,
I
okay.
have to make a karate chop to get it to throw.
And it'll show the things
Well,
on screen as you're doing it.
From what I understand,
So everybody's
from
accidentally
Spider-Man, though,
Zeke-heiling
it's going to be you're
throughout the
shooting
whole ride.
webs by doing the same kind of motions.
Yeah.
So I think that what it'll be, what I heard rumors about with the Spider-Man ride is that yes, it's gonna have the same thing, and everybody's gonna be doing this.
Yeah.
But it might also be the same thing as the Harry Potter and Forbidden Journey. Like it might be on an articulating
That's
robotic
what it
arm.
looks like from what concept art looks like. It
Yeah.
looks like whatever track is behind you, and you're
Yeah.
kind of facing outwards and moving sideways.
Yeah.
So it might not be the Kuka arm, like
Kuka arm.
that's what Forbidden
guy.
Journey uses.
This guy.
The Kuka arms. I don't think it's going to be a Kuka arm system. It could be, but I think it's going to be, from what I can tell, is the track behind it, and it's going to move sideways. It could be even like an Omni mover, like Haunted Mansion or Ariel's Undersea Adventure, similar to that.
Get in the comments. Did anybody else know more than we do? Because obviously we're not super Disney savvy, but we'd like to know.
I am. I just don't follow the. I just don't follow the news.
So and then it has that Stuntronic.
The Boston
Oh.
Dynamic robot that
Yeah, that
they
looks
send
really
out.
cool.
Yeah.
From like 2 different buildings.
I hope that thing doesn't
right?
become
It
like
goes
a-
from one building
Sentient?
to the next.
Yeah. Please.
What are you talking about? I am the real Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're a robot. Shut him down.
Yeah.
And then Skynet takes over.
Yeah.
No, it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. What if the launch system doesn't launch at full capacity, then it lands in the midway.
That's what I was kind of afraid of too. I mean, I think there must.
It's a cool concept. You know what we're talking about?
No, if you guys want Disney news, don't go to Airtime Thrills.
But stay on our channel. No, basically what it is that Disney Imagineering have created a robot animatronic that when it's launched into the air, it'll do moves so that it can tuck and roll and twist and stuff like that. And at first, people thought they were just going to do that for movies, so it could replace stuntmen in movies.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turns out no, they're actually going to have this in the park, dressed up as Spider-Man, and he's going to fly over the heads of guests, doing moves and all this different stuff, which is cool until you find out that thing probably weighs like a ton.
Yeah,
And-
right.
Yeah, and if that's.
If it doesn't
I was
launch
surprised
all
what
the
they
way,
did with Rise of the Resistance opening in Florida. They
Yeah.
couldn't do it here due to regulations, but they had the TIE, I think, was it the TIE fighters or the something, I don't know, Star Wars, but they had they flew over, yeah.
Over Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. And I was like,
they were
what
like
if,
the drones, right?
Yeah, the drones, yeah. But those were big. If one of those, came down, that would have been good.
But it would make good content because people like conflict, right?
That's true. People like hearing about failed things and
People like
the
hearing
worst
about
stuff.
coronavirus, apparently.
Anyway.
That's a good video for you actually. Top 10 potential disasters that
Yeah.
at theme parks.
That's funny.
I'll predict the next 10 disasters at theme parks. They'll love me for that.
Yeah, and if they come true, then it's like,
He's a
They'll be like, "What did you do?
Come
What
knocking
did
on
you
your
do?"
door. I know where he lives. FBI, if you need to know where he lives.
I was at Magic Mountain the day that fire started, but I had nothing to do with it.
Did his number spike and his subs spike from that video? Yes, they did.
Did I see dollar signs as soon as that fire broke out? Sure did.
So let's talk about Magic Mountain as well. We've got this mystery 2021 something that's going to be coming. Let's just throw out speculation. What do you think is going to go in there? Or what would you, how about this? What would you like to see there? And then what do you think is coming there?
Well, I'd like to see a raptor.
Mm-hmm.
What I think it's going to be is a mock power loop.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What about you?
What I think, or what I want it to be, is interesting because I don't really want anything anymore. I think the park has so many great things, and it's kind of hard to top anything at the park. So, as far as it goes, I don't care what they get. I mean,
Some great content, guys.
Just add something cool.
Yeah.
I'll like it. That's all I care.
What do you think it's going to be?
Some kind of water coaster.
Well, I did a deep dive on this on my channel.
Yeah.
You helped me find the markers.
That's right.
And so I used that into that video. So, based on that land, like if I really wanted to see something, the RMC T-Rex, I think, is the best chance for a Six Flags park, like Magic Mountain, to get a Giga Coaster.
Yeah.
Based on that land, it's not going to happen there.
No.
I mean, we could see that maybe happen if Viper was to get taken out, maybe something then. But for that land, I kind of want to see an access coaster. And I think it's very possible that might happen because Six Flags works with SNS, and Six Flags likes to be the first to do stuff. Like they were the first ones that got a free spin, first ones that got a Raptor. They could be the first one to get an access, and it could totally fit on that plot of land.
Yeah.
It looks like it's kind of a compact, shorter, maybe even a launch model. So what I think it's going to be, though, I think it's going to be a 12-seat Raptor, like Jersey Devil.
Okay.
It could definitely be a water coaster, but just based on everything, like the fact that it's going to be the 50th anniversary, it's going to be their 20th coaster, I can't see them going with a water coaster for that scenario. And the fact that they did just put a Raptor in one of their biggest parks, I think they might do it
But you
again.
gotta also remember one thing though: is West Coast was supposed to be their 20th, and
True.
last minute, that
That's a good point.
And
So the only thing that makes sense, though, is if they had something planned for 2021 before they realized that West Coast wasn't going to be their 20th. Now, if they made the decision afterward, then they could have reworked it and said, hey, let's do this Raptor instead.
See, with the power loop, though, just kind of judging off of what Six Flags' habits have been when revealing big projects, they tend to like to break records of some sort.
Right.
And when you say that a power loop is the world's first looping water attraction,
That's true.
that in itself, I think, is enough incentive for them to want to go with something like that and say this works fine for our 20th anniversary because we're still going big, we're still going Six Flags by keeping the tradition of breaking records. I mean,
so this doesn't mean a whole lot, but just based on the markers, just the width of the markers, it seems like it's going to be more than just a straight line, looping power
Hey,
splash.
those markers could also be for
exactly.
a restaurant
Like I said, it
or
doesn't
do
mean
whatever.
a whole lot,
But to your point, I get that, and the GP would eat that up, and Six Flags is, the PR department is very good at saying, the world's first, whatever, and they eat it up, and they would love it. I think that a mock power splash loop, whatever it's called, would be a big draw. I think it would. But what I see your point as well. We've seen the markers, we've seen the plot of lands, and it's like, what's going on here? There's that one warehouse that's the way. Are they going to get rid of that warehouse? I don't know. It's all speculation at this point. What I'd like to see going there would be just something that still incorporates the water somehow. If that's a coaster, even if it's like a Raptor, that if it has a splashdown element or something like that, that'd be first, like the first Raptor with a splashdown element.
well, it's the one type of attraction that they're missing out on the most at that park.
Right,
you know?
and then
they're not going to get rid of that plumbing, I don't think.
yeah, because it's already got the plumbing there.
It's got a lot of plumbing
reservoir, and it just seems like it would be a lot of
Plumbing
hassle.
from the lake that used to be there.
Right.
There's probably still stuff there, pipes. And
It would be a
whatnot.
hassle to remove all of that reservoir, that plumbing, and all that stuff. So to me, that's why I think it's going to have some water still in it somehow. What I think it's going to be is I think it's going to be a water coaster. I don't know. I'm kind of waffling on
I mean,
You're waffling like this?
I'm waffling on
Okay.
what it might be.
I think an access would be amazing, just because that would also be a
would
world's
be cool.
first.
my concern with the access though is it ready for production yet? Because
maybe.
Because I mean, they
got
put
the
out
prototype.
They got the prototype, but how long? I don't remember how long did it take until the SNS free spins got out on the market after they did that
I don't know.
test.
But I mean, like they got that Raptor
Yeah.
model in up in Idaho, and then not long after that, they were selling them out to the and Six Flags. I think was the first one that actually bought one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm excited to see. You know, with Six Flags Magic Mountain being all of our home parks, you know, it's really exciting to kind of have this starting again. You know, a little bit of background on our channel. With me, it was just, you know, seeing the very first markers for West Coast Racers and getting in contact with Drew from Parks Bros because he was covering it as well. And then that's how we got to meet everybody. And it's exciting to kind of have that happen again. It's kind of a almost like a deja vu, pun intended. Six Flags Magic Mountain, pun intended. Just to kind of have that going again. So really, I'm excited for whatever it is. I mean, even if it ends up, I kind of don't want it to be a mock power loop because I don't know, but it's not about me, is it?
I always thought the mock power splash just kind of looked lame. Even with the loop, it's like okay.
My
That's
problem
personal
is that it
preference.
looks like every seat gets soaked on it, and I don't like getting wet on rides. So, or like at least
But
in
wait a
clothing.
minute.
I love water parks.
Wait
I'll
a
go in a
minute.
bathing suit, but
Right.
yeah, I
I
don't want to
agree
be in
with
full
that.
clothes.
What's your like logo? What's your mantra? Your track's wet, you're wet. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
track's
just,
wet, I'm wet.
You've just contradicted yourself.
Wet in a different way.
Yes.
This is a PG family channel. Dad, allow my dad jokes. Okay?
Oh, there's a lot of stupid jokes I've come up with.
Yeah. All right, so
Stupid circle hang signs.
what's next for you, Cliff? Like with Analog Thrills on your Instagram, like what numbers are you at right now?
Oh, just a mere like 1,300 right now. Yeah.
No big deal. And what's next like coming up for you? Like, do you have anything like? How are you planning to ride out this? I don't know what we want to
Quarantine.
This quarantine. this drought.
Well, I'm gonna continue with Monochrome March, which is just posting some stuff I've had in my archives in black and white. I've shot some stuff on black and white film before that I just never really knew what to do with. So I'm gonna continue with that. I was kind of thinking it'd be interesting to kind of like capture parks in a way that makes them look abandoned as they're sort of abandoned right now. So maybe kind of going to perimeters and shooting a little bit.
It's a good idea.
The other big thing I had coming was, of course, Hollywood Nights and a trip I had based around that and experimenting with different types of film for that trip. A little bit more unconventional styles. But we'll see how that goes because, I mean, we don't know exactly how long these closures are going to be. If you know, I mean, Hollywood Nights is a pretty big gathering, and you know, fingers crossed. I had Europe planned as well too for Abyssus and some parks in the Netherlands, but that's all up in the air right now too, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's like everything's up in the air. Like, you know, Taylor Biber with Coaster Studios was supposed to going to Europe, and their flights got canceled, so they had to like come up with a last minute alternative, which was Texas, which I guess works, but you know,
They made it by a couple days.
Yeah.
Because the parks were just about to close.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So Maverick, what's new with Mechanical Amusements? What do we got coming up?
So a lot of things I've been trying to do for a while, and I think I'm, since we're all in quarantine and we're not really supposed to go anywhere, well, I think this is the time I'm finally going to do it, and I want to do videos that kind of explains the inside of how amusement parks are, and really focus on the people that make the parks happen. Such as, there's so many different levels of like what people do in theme parks. There's things in marketing, there's things in, research, and there's just all kinds of different departments, and there's also a lot of things that people don't really know about how rides work. Like, you could say, the block system works like, but there's more complex stuff to know, coming from someone who's, I was in a leadership position at Cedar Point before, and I used to work, I worked a bunch of different coasters there. And I would talk to maintenance, kind of pick their heads, and I'm kind of going to bring more of that information to everybody else. I mean, there's some things, obviously, I can't really say just, for the park's sake that they would get mad about. But I'm going to try to do as best as I can to explain kind of what the insides of a theme park looks like. And the first one I'm going to do is about blocking systems and kind of incorporate how they work. And I'm going to probably try to get that out within the next week.
Cool. What about you, Chris?
So my channel doesn't really rely on needing to go to a park for anything. I have plenty of ideas out there. Now, I was going to go to Texas at the end of this month.
Yeah.
I had to push that back a week hopefully everything will be fine and they'll open on time at the beginning of April. If not, I'll have to figure it out. But then, of course, the week after that, I got Orion's opening day.
Right.
And I got everything booked for that. So I was planning on doing some reviews of Texas Stingray, review of Orion, maybe do like an Orion Media Day vlog. So if I can't do that, it's not a big deal. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing just ranking things, talking about whatever documentaries, just the normal stuff. So it just doesn't really affect me a whole lot, unless of course Hollywood Nights and Keys to the Kingdom and
that's right.
and any maybe Iron Gwazi, all that stuff gets canceled.
You're on the panel for Keys of the Kingdom, right?
Yeah, I'm on the panel.
Who else is on the panel?
We got Theme Park Crazy. We got Taylor of Coaster Studios. We got OVC. Sean Flaherty's going to be there. Logan from Coaster Kids. And I'm not sure who else. That's who I know of for sure.
Right. Okay.
Wasn't Coaster Kids now? Aren't they Thrills United?
Thrills
yeah.
United.
Yeah, he is. I think he's still part of both.
Yeah.
Is there? Are they two separate things, or are they just? I haven't really paid attention.
He's kind of like Thrills United
Okay.
would be what he'll be the face of Thrills United.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's like, I'm a teenager now. I can't be Coaster Kids. Love you, Logan. But but he still wants to have Coaster Kids because of the kind of the movement that it started.
Yeah.
He wants to keep that alive. So he has some other people that are like,
Okay.
But no, that's a good point. Keys to the Kingdom is like what, $50 to get in?
$50 to get in if you don't have a pass. Yeah.
I don't have a pass.
Yeah.
And what kind of ERT are they doing for that?
I heard they're going to do ERT in the morning, and it sounds like also afterwards.
Okay.
And then during the day, they're going to have like a beach party at night. They're going to have like
Okay, so they're going to
free
have some
food.
water park ERT too, because it looks like they have
Yeah,
some
but I
good
think
slides.
the beach party is going to be the water, like a water park thing.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
assume I hear beach, probably water.
Yeah, and also behind the scenes, so kind of like
That's cool.
Hollywood Nights is going to take you probably back to areas you can't normally go, get some pictures and
Probably
video.
some good areas you can get of Storm Chaser from.
Yes, yeah.
I think there's like one section I've seen people do on backstage tours there where it's like kind of underneath that corkscrew. That would be a good spot.
Yeah. And they're gonna have like giveaways. So it's gonna be like an all-day thing. So for $50, get all that access, all that ERT, and to get fed too. Seems like a good deal, especially if you're gonna be at Hollywood Nights anyway.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's not too bad. And if you want really good ERT for even cheaper, you want to be fed, come to Theme Park ERT
You're gonna
for
feed them.
$40, and I'll make you cookies.
Okay.
Brought to you by Urel. How's it smell, by the way? I saw you.
How about this?
I need a good whiff.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Days Come Blaze, what's coming up for you? Off-camera commentary.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like spoiled milk.
God. Wow.
What in the
Don't
world are
actually
you doing?
eat it. Don't actually
It got
eat
in my mouth.
What are you doing?
I tried to get a good like,
Whiff.
and it like kind of got in my mouth.
It's like you've got like a whole handful. Like, what's going on?
I don't know.
You just need a little drop to smell it.
Can't trust him with the URL.
My nose is all clogged up because it's like winter and
man.
spring kind
I
of
think,
season. And
I think we
I have
lost
to
our
like get like a
sponsorship,
good
actually.
amount.
No kidding.
Oh, I got high off of that.
Yeah.
Let's get back on track. Family Channel.
Family Channel.
So it's coming back up for
Kills
Theme Park
99% of germs, probably brain cells too.
I'm gonna get a Disney
Good.
pass soon, so should be some more Disney.
We might have some more
content on
Disney
our channel.
stuff. We're going to try to get some more. I want to continue with these roundtables. I think this is kind of a fun idea to just get everybody. Any enthusiasts out there that want to join us, let us know. Hit us up at themeparkert@gmail.com, or you can send us a DM on Instagram. We'd love to have you guys back too. Maybe we can get this even bigger. Maybe we can have it a little more professional. We'd like to thank Days Come Blaze's parents for letting us be in their backyard.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out. What are their names?
Sharon
First
and
name.
Charlie.
Sharon and Charlie, thank you so much for letting us enjoy this backyard on a beautiful sunny day. This is the first day in a long time in Southern California that it has not rained.
Oh no, it rained at my house earlier.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
it's rained.
Yeah.
But it's been like raining. I know, boo-hoo, poor Southern California. But like
For a week.
we've had rain for a week, like day and night, which is not typical for here. So
And it's
having
going
a
to be
little-
like this the whole next week too.
So to have a little bit of sun come out, it was nice. We thought we'd have this roundtable come out. We'd like to thank everybody for joining us on this first roundtable. Any last words? Subscribe to Analog Thrills on Instagram.
Track sweat, I'm wet.
There you go.
Let's beat the coronavirus. Wash your hands. Don't touch people's faces, especially your own.
I think I've been touching my face this whole time.
Well, it's like that lady from the CDC. She's like, "Don't touch your
Yeah,
face."
she just
Like,
licks
like I wanted someone to run up and just like lick her face. That would be just super funny. Anyway, so this has been the first theme park ERT enthusiast roundtable. on behalf of me, the ambassador, Days Can Blaze, Chris from Airtime Thrills, Maverick from Mechanical Amusements, and Cliff from Analog Thrills, this has been your Theme Park ERT.
Switch fan!